Morning, everybody. Coach Brew here. It is a snowy winter morning here in Maine, and shooting another morning drive video for you. We're going to do more of these, I promise. On the way into the office, and wanted to come to you about a concept called life is an experiment. You know, it's often said that entrepreneurship's really just an experiment, trial and error, trying to figure out what works. People don't major in entrepreneurship in college. They're starting to offer entrepreneurship programs now, but not typically something you major in. Aren't a whole lot of courses you can take on that. It's something typically you have to figure out through trial and error and just navigating life, navigating the world the hard way, school hard knocks style, so to speak. And I had an interesting experience over the holidays that I wanted to share with you. A young student athlete approached me about doing an internship while she was home for Christmas break, you know, kind of like a January term internship, if you will. And I said, sure, you know, first of all, you know, what do you want to get out of it? And she is a freshman in college. Her name's Amber. You might have heard her on my podcast, depending on when you're listening to this. But she said, I'm trying to figure out if I want to study business and business management and marketing. And in my opinion, there's no better way to figure that out than to do the actual work and decide if, you know, the day-to-day is something that you find intellectually stimulating, engaging, challenging, and most importantly, fun. So I said, sure. And I'm starting a new project. It's called Top Secret Seminars. And if you want to learn more about that, you can go to topsecretseminars.com. Amber has been the person spearheading that whole initiative over the past month, designing the website, building the website, creating the social media channels, the web content, and literally starting a new business. And, you know, I'm not honking my own horn when I say this, but what a cool experience somebody got to have. You know, a freshman in college who's trying to figure out what she wants to do. You get to help start a new business. And that's really what this is. It's an arm of my existing business, but it's a standalone project. You can learn more about it, again, at topsecretseminars.com. It explains everything there pretty clearly. But anyway, there's a lesson in her drive and initiative and curiosity for everyone. And that's why I wanted to share this with you today. Number one, she's not admitted to the business school at her university yet. So this will help strengthen her resume. It's a competitive program, and this will help strengthen her resume. It's also going to help strengthen her resume for work experience in the future, a summer job, another internship. What this internship also wasn't for credit. She couldn't get internship credit for doing this. It's something she did on her own, for her own personal and professional development, which, you know, with today's generation, I know I'm about to sound like the old get off my lawn guy, but with today's generation, it's nice to see someone who wants to work to earn it, isn't asking what's in it for me, how much am I going to get paid, how many vacation days do I get, what are my hours. They just want the experience, and they're hungry to learn, and they're willing to do whatever. You know, I could have thrown any assignment at her, and she would have tackled it with a lot of creativity and initiative. We haven't had kind of our exit interview to see if business management, entrepreneurship, marketing, that kind of thing is something she wants to pursue, but I think she got a pretty good sample over the last month and a half of what it's like. and she got to sit in on some coaching calls that I did. My point being, like, if it's not something she wants to pursue, it's great that she's figuring it out early. And I think so often we either only enter into projects, endeavors, vocations, avocations, whatever it might be, if we have a great deal of certainty that's something we want to do. And I think by being what's the word I'm looking for, tepid in those attempts, we're really missing out on a lot, because so much of education, business, life, career, your personal life is trying something, experimenting, and figuring out if it's something you want to do after you've already started trying to do the work. And then also, more importantly, in my humble but highly accurate opinion, is figuring out if it's something you don't want to do. There is so much value in having experiences, personally, professionally, whatever the case may be, and determining sooner rather than later, this isn't for me. Because the worst thing that can happen is you can get so far down a road that it's hard to turn around, or it's hard to take a fork in the road, because you're so far into your career, you've been doing something, kind of living a life of quiet misery and desperation, because you're experiencing fear of change. And I would say having a lot of different experiences, embracing change early and often, experimenting and figuring out what you don't want is hugely important, because that's actually the route to figure out what you do want. So I'll say that again. Figuring out what you don't want is actually the route to figuring out what you do want. If you think about relationships that you've been in, you have a lot more appreciation for good relationships after you've experienced bad relationships. You had to figure out who and what you're looking for, in part by figuring out something is, or someone is definitely what you didn't want and you're not looking for. So again, I think, placing a small bet, you could call it an experiment, you could call it placing a small bet, so to speak. And that small bet could be financial resources, or it could be the resource of your personal time. My intern Amber was sacrificing her Christmas vacation. Her whole winter break was spent doing an internship, not for credit. I think I'm an awesome person to work for, because, I'll buy lunch, I'll buy coffee. I'm pretty flexible with your hours, come and go as you please. It's a casual atmosphere, it's not going to work at a kind of corporate environment. But still, it was a sacrifice of her time. And, we only have a certain amount of time. We only have a certain amount of kind of intellectual bandwidth day to day, week to week as well. And she sacrificed a lot to do that, to figure out, is this something I want to pursue, or is it something I don't want to pursue? So that's the message for you. And I'd like to, have you think a little bit about that. You might be listening to this thinking about a career change. Maybe you are a member of the younger persuasion and just thinking about a career. So place a small bet. Experiment with something. Start a side hustle. You don't have to quit your job tomorrow and start a business. That might be the stupidest thing you could do at any age, because then you don't have financial security to provide for yourself and provide for your family, to make sure you have a roof over your head. Start a side hustle. Start a part-time position or business that you want to work towards making full-time. I didn't just quit my job and become a full-time speaker and author. I probably would have starved. My family probably would have starved in the early months if I did that. But what I did was, I worked a job that was less than ideal, but it was a job that was good financially and had flexible hours, which allowed me to do what I wanted on the weekends, evenings, make my own hours where I could go and do speaking engagements. I could write as much as I wanted to, mostly early in the morning and in the evening, but I had flexibility and I also had economic stability. So you don't have to jump all at once. You should place a small bet, and if you like it, grow it. I liked what I was doing. I decided to grow it into a full-time vocation, and it's been a wonderful second career, being an executive coach, speaker, and author. But I didn't just wake up one morning on a lark and say this will be my full-time job today, starting today. That would be foolish. So I'd encourage you to do what Amber did, what I did, and experiment. Place a small bet. Place several. Because you're going to have to, what's the old saying? You have to kiss a lot of frogs to find a prince. So, some of those small bets, some of those experiments, or, side hustles you look at, projects. Maybe it's kind of adding a new arm to your existing business as an entrepreneur, which I'm doing in this season of my life. You hope it's a prince, it might be a frog, but you're better off figuring it out fast that it's a frog, and then being able to pivot and shift and move to something else. Again, I think the expression, I hate business jargon and those kind of, for lack of a better term, business speak, pop psychology business speak, but that old expression, fail fast. It's tired and it's old and it's overused, but it's true. You want to fail fast. You want to, and by fail fast, I mean, figure out that like what you're doing isn't commercially viable, or figure out that it isn't what you want to pursue and it's not of interest. So yeah, fail fast, but I'd say don't fail fast at it full time. Make it an experiment. Make it a small bet you place, and that's really entrepreneurship in a nutshell. Is it's a bet, but most importantly, it's a bet on yourself. There's not something to fall back on. You don't have a company giving you a salary and you're an entrepreneur. You literally eat what you kill, so to speak. It's all on you. And we need to bet on ourselves, and we need to, in changing economic times, we need to be able to shift and pivot and create new ventures in preparation for a changing economy. The economy has been booming. The stock market has been booming for a long time now. And the question is it sustainable? Well, history's proven nothing's sustainable forever. And the people who aren't going to get crushed when change comes are the people who are prepared before change comes. Like, you want to be changing on your own before you are required to. It's the difference between being proactive and being reactive. You want to be proactive because you're operating from a position of strength, not a position of weakness. Think about it, if you're reacting, you're doing that when everyone else is reacting as well. And that's going to make everything a lot more crowded, a lot more competitive, and frankly, a lot more dangerous for you and your business. So be proactive. One of the proactive pivots I've taken on is this project that Amber's worked on so hard and done so well with. It's called TopSecretSeminars.com. And basically what I've taken is a crowded, commoditized, quite frankly, homogenous, derivative industry, the seminar and the conference business, and I've turned it upside down. And I've created something that we looked at, and I surveyed my audience, my readers, people who have been to my workshops, my clients, surveyed all of them and said, what do you hate about most conferences, most seminars you go to? And I took that list of complaints and I created something that solves all those issues, eliminates them in many cases, and is essentially the opposite or the antithesis of another boring seminar. So I'd encourage you to take a look at topsecretseminars.com, and if you want to bring that to your organization, or if you just want to attend one, keep an eye on the calendar page, the event page, which will have the listings and locations. Everything's kind of TBD, to be determined, or TBA, right about now. But stay tuned to that. And again, whatever you're doing, bet on yourself and place a small bet to start out and figure out if it's something you want or don't want, because there's just so much value to learning early what you want versus what you don't want. And Amber, if you're listening to this, watching this video, thank you, and all the respect in the world for the job you've done. Okay, everybody, head on over to coachbrew.com for more videos like this. You can sign up for, it's called the Daily Brew. It's my daily e-news, and it's not really daily. It's a couple times a week, but it's leadership performance tips to help you take your business to the next level. And you wouldn't be watching this or listening to this if you weren't looking to get to the next level in your business and your life. So head on over there, sign up at the top of the page, coachbrew.com, and when you do that, you'll automatically receive a digital download of my premium membership community newsletter. It's a roughly in any given month 12 to 16 page newsletter that has leadership performance strategies, kind of a deep dive into a lot of the things I talk about in the Daily Brew and on these videos. It's a deep dive, and the particular download you'll get is 12 tips to double your sales, double your results. So head on over to coachbrew.com and you can pick up your copy of that. Thanks, everybody. Make it a great day.